Hi all, this is Daisycakes, and I was just going to record something that I had recorded for you earlier, and I don't know what the heck's wrong with this thing. You can see the microphone is green on this one, but for some reason, some ass decided to turn off my microphone while I was recording it. So let me go ahead and show you this one. Okay, so this is me, and I'm saying last night I went through and I changed all my thumbnails. You can see I have like schmutz on my face. I'm sorry. But I went through and changed all my thumbnails, and I put my name on the bottom of every thumbnail, and I went through and I changed them all. Yeah, it was really frustrating, and I updated them 3 days now in a row because I didn't want to say something and then keep making the same video. So I waited to see what would happen, right? Well, what happened was he reverted them back to the other thumbnails without my permission, which is really upsetting. So anyway, that's what I look like when I wake up in the morning. Oh, it's pretty weird. Not usually so filthy, but I have a pimple on my face, and I guess it kind of like broke, so there's some schmutz there. But anyway, so it's funny. Okay, so now I'm going to show you my thumbnails, which I can't believe there's no recording of. And if you go through all these, you'll see that that my name has been taken off of most of them. I already went through and changed my whole thumbnails because the name had been taken off 2 days ago, off the bottom of the picture, like a driver's license picture. I like to put my name at the bottom. So watch. See, that's the right one. But I'm going to go ahead and change it to this one because I actually changed all of the thumbnails, right? Okay, so then as you scroll down, you'll see if you look farther down than I'm looking, you'll see that some of them don't have the names on them. All these do. We don't know what's wrong with this one. But here's one where it says Daisycakes finds more things that were returned. Okay, so that one obviously doesn't have a thumbnail. See, my photographic memory helps me remember which one I looked at last, which is so frustrating. But anyway, so it gives me like this worry in the back of my brain when one of the pictures changes, and it's very upsetting to me. So I have to go through and find out what's wrong. Daisycakes is retaliated against by a guy. If you haven't seen any of these, they're really interesting. Well, they may not be interesting because they're new. You know, I just started filming things, but I thought they were pretty interesting. So, anyway, I go through all these for about 10 minutes. And I'm just changing the thumbnail. And you can tell here there's the purple letters. So that means this is my new thumbnail. And someone just removed my name for some reason, which is very frustrating. Because now they're going to show as the updated ones, which they should not. And he possibly may have changed the videos, but we have to hope not, because this is my creative work and he doesn't have the right to access it. So I literally have to call Cricket and get his phone number shut down because he can't stop himself from being an ass, which is upsetting. Sorry for the words. Isn't this strange? And every time I make sure it says edit saved, and I reset my router like 5 times yesterday, and my modem. So it's possible that they're daisy chaining my modem to another modem and it's not letting the changes through. But they really need to get a handle on that because people are going to get upset. Because there's a lot of people editing more important stuff than I am on this thing. I mean, not on my thing, but on the other thing. And it's very upsetting now. What the hell is the matter with this thing? Okay, so if you go to Google Play, I had to go in through Google Play. I had to go in through Google, through Google.com. I call it Go Ogle. But I had to go in through Google, play.google.com, and it wouldn't let me. So I had to go into google.com and then access it through the menu that drops down on the right hand side at the top. And if you look at devices, look, there's my phone, which I have removed before off of my account, and which has been sitting there since September 12th. That's my phone, y'all. Remember, it got cloned on September 19th or 17th by this guy that's the coyote here, that's the relative of the orthopedic guy in New Braunfels, and that has an office next to URun. And then it got, so it said Nagadoches on the thing that pops up on your email. And then all of a sudden it said outside of Nagadoches in Texas. And I don't know who has it now. But this device, I have another tablet that's broken, right? That could be that device, or it could be the stalker. I'm not sure. It's probably the broken one. And then here, there's January 3rd, 2024. Y'all, it doesn't seem like the stalker's registered right now. But I know I can come here and check and see. However, there is a chance that this is the stalker, and that's how they get the Linux on there too. But the Linux is not installing things. But remember, the guy was using his phone to install things on my device. And there's no place to remove this. Isn't that strange? You can't unregister your device. So if anyone has any advice, I have a feeling this is one of those buttons that got removed. Like over here, it's supposed to say remove or something. So if I turn it sideways, which sometimes does reveal some extra columns in things occasionally, but here no. Make sure this is on desktop site. Still no. So I don't know what to think, y'all. It's very confusing. Anyway, back to the video. And that's true, he does take me out of my videos because he earns money from intercepting Crime Stopper tips and then distributing the rewards to people that he thinks should get them instead of the person that makes the tips. But that's C, and he's moved now, but not very far away, y'all. He's less than a block away from me. That was one thing I found. So this is me again. This is Katie. It is Wednesday. Wait, it's Wednesday. It is Wednesday, January 3rd. So happy almost birthday to my mother-in-law, my former mother-in-law, who's born on Epiphany, which is so funny. But anyway, this is me, and what's I gonna say? Oh, one thing that just infuriated me, which I'd like to share with you, which I don't really know what to think about, but remember they made me do all these things for eviction when they were trying to evict other people, and they didn't want to make it look like they were playing favorites, but mine got dismissed, right? But I had to pay $895. Well, the suspicious thing is that $895 is exactly the amount of rent of a guy that lives exactly the amount of rent of the apartment complex that's neighboring to this one that's also owned by these people. And it's I paid my rent fee. So I usually pay a late fee because I pay on the 5th, right? And the late fee covers any point in time you pay in the month. And I paid $650. Sometimes I pay $699 if it has to be after the 15th, but it never does. I've never done that before. And so this is my first time mailing my rent. And they charged me $895. So that's weird. I don't know, y'all. It's sketchy. But they're fairly nice people, and I did exactly what I said they would do and dismiss it this time because it really was due to my brother being a butt and not because of any other thing. So let me get back to the video. Plus, that court knows all about me now, which I don't really like very much, but it's fine. They seem nice enough. It turned out to be a district court here in Nacogdoches, which I don't really know that much about courts, but I've never heard of a district court before. Okay, so then if you scroll down here, you can see that most of them are corrected and have my name on them. However, this one doesn't. Daisycakes Stalker changes playlist and online shopping thumbnail. And that one does. But this is a recent one, y'all. And it's the new thumbnail. It's just missing my name. But this thing says that it's all scrunched up underneath it and that it's not really missing it at all, see? So then we go back and make sure it didn't start all over again. Nope. We're about to get to an interesting story, y'all. Which is kind of anticlimactic to have to tell the second time, but let's see. My stalker just walked past, y'all. She's very floofy. Like, she has a lot of fuzzy... She wears a lot of layers, and she has a lot of fuzzy sweaters and stuff. And she's, like, almost 6 feet tall. And she's wearing heels, probably my heels. And it's very frustrating. I have model feet. I have size 9.5, very long, skinny feet. And, well, it's actually size 9, really. And I have very long legs because I was supposed to be 6 feet tall like my brother. But somehow I got smushed. And so the top part of me, my legs are like 44 inches long. And the top part of me is like the rest of 60 inches. So it's very like the Beetlejuice guy. It's really funny. So I have like a braid. I have a big head. And I have long legs. And there's like really nothing in the middle. It's just very funny. And so very few people can actually wear my clothes, right? Because I have to wear the pants of a 6 foot tall person. Even mini skirts at school when I was in high school were always, I had to, like, I was like, look guys, if it's, oh, this is a pet peeve I have to do. This is like a whole nother thing, Okay. So when I was in high school, it was so funny because mini skirts, the dress code started. And mini skirts were a problem. Because I can put my hands, like my fingertips are halfway, or right where your fingertips would be on your skirts, your hems, you know what I'm talking about. And but for me, there's like a foot more thigh there after that point. And I don't know, I'm supposed to, like I said, I'm supposed to be over 6 feet tall. My brother's 6'6". And my mom's 5'9", my dad's 6'1", and I was just supposed to be a tall woman, but somehow I got squished, so. But it's really funny. So I would go to the office, and I've always been kind of a lawyer type person, and I'd be like, look guys, if it's regulation on the hanger, then it should be regulation on the person. You can't force women that have different body features to have to buy special clothes. That's crazy. Nobody would do that, you know? And it was such a big soapbox for me. So then I had to start taking other clothes with me to school to wear for dress code violations. And I would have to, because I have my own car. My dad and my mom bought me I told you, a Corolla. I'll link it below. But anyway, it was souped up, very pretty car, Coco van. And I would put in the back of it a whole nother set of clothes. Because I was always, my buttons would gap, or my hemlines would be short or whatever, but it's just because I'm a freak. It's not because of anything else. It's just funny. And it's not really fair, because if the clothes fit on the hanger, measurement-wise, they should fit the person. You can't ask people to dress differently. It's so funny. I don't know what's wrong with our society, y'all. But I didn't really have to fight it that much. It's just funny how often that comes up with me, dress code violations, when really it's because on anybody else it would be like a knee-length thing. But my knees aren't where my knees should be, and I don't know what to... That's just like the way life is. That's why on planes I always have to have an aisle seat so I can stretch my legs out to the left, you know. It's just funny. But, what was I going to say? I forgot what that had to do with. Oh, something important. Let's think. It was so funny, y'all. Oh, yeah. So it's really weird that this guy wants to wear my clothes. There's, I circled back. Because the guy wants to wear my clothes. Because I'm used to, like, I can go and try on, I used to be able to wear men's jeans back a long time ago. I have a chest and I have hips and an hourglass figure, but it used to be like a little one. And I would go and I would wear like 501s or whatever. And I would have to go in the guys department to find ones that were long enough, because there just weren't any long enough for me. Now they make pants longer for people. I don't know why, but the women's pants generally aren't as hemmed as they used to be, and you can get them hemmed if you're shorter. But I guess they finally realized that people that are shorter can get things hemmed, but people that are longer can't really, you know, they have to have problems. Because you can't really belt everything, you know, to have the extra fabric at the bottom. It's frustrating. Anyway, so definitely not a problem today, but this guy, anyway, his relative used to live near me, and he wants to wear my clothes because I guess my shoes fit him, and my probably dresses would probably maybe fit partly him, and then he wears a jacket to cover the gaps or something. I don't know, y'all, it's nutty. The malware makes my nose look bigger, but it's not bigger. It's very frustrating. So I thought that was interesting just to share that with you. But he likes to wear my clothes, and here's the window. So he goes past my window every morning at about 7 o'clock. And he goes past it about now, which is about like the end of lunchtime. He's probably feeding an animal for his friend or some such notion. And he goes past it at 6 p.m. And he always looks in here, y'all. And I don't know. But anyway, I've always had guys interested in my clothes. Because before there was Amazon, men that like to dress like women didn't really have an outlet for their seeking. And so they had to sort of stand next to people and kind of approximate if that would work for them. And then try to get in their good graces and borrow their stuff. But anyway, I have the feet of a supermodel because I have long feet, long legs, long toes, and it's very strange. But the rest of me is not like that. And it's funny. I have long arms, and I have very short torso, and that's pretty much me. Big head. So anyway, thank you for watching. Let me get back to the video and show you the rest of the thing. There's another little story hidden in here somewhere that I'm looking forward to telling you. I'm a little nervous about it, though. I see the microphone back on. No, okay. Let's see. Okay, you can see that there's several videos here that are missing their thumbnails, right? It doesn't make any sense. No, there's a new thumbnail, no name. Name removed. Isn't that strange? And that doesn't have the Daisycakes and Snowman Show on it. It's so frustrating. Oh my god, did he take that off too? No. It's so weird. I try to put all these things on each thumbnail, but I haven't. Oh, he took it off of the other one. Y'all. So I have to go back through and do these all anyway. Oh my gosh, this guy's an ass. Okay, hold on. Remember, ass means donkey. I think calling people a donkey is way more. They seem obsessed with rear ends and things, so I don't think that calling them a rear end would really help very much. So I'm definitely calling them a lower animal. Still good enough for Jesus. Now, where is this thing here? The slider isn't showing. I can never get the slider to show on this thing. So hold on one second. Okay, so we see that he also took off the Daisycakes and Snowman Show in many things. He took it off of this. He took my name off. He's just being a total jerk. And this takes serious time, y'all, because I have 260 videos. So it's a lot of correcting, and it's a lot of vandalizing. It's just very odd. So I have to go back through and change it again. Now, let me tell you the story about this doll. Let's see. This is a special story I wanted to put in the middle of this video because I noticed y'all like it when I do that. So I'm going to show you a picture of this doll. This is a doll. Okay. Okay, so when I was 5 years old, we moved from a house that was 2 doors to about 2 minutes away. There's a big dividing line between school districts in my housing areas that I used to live in. My dad was a colonel in the Air Force. He was the second, how do you say it? He was the third in command on the base, for the whole base, okay? So he had a nice house. He lived 2 doors down from the general on this very nice street that still exists today. The general just passed away not 5 years ago. And my dad passed away in 1983 officially, okay? So we moved. They were renting. My parents were renting the house. And they decided that they wanted more space because that house had 4 bedrooms. Remember my brothers, I'm one of 4 children, the youngest of 4 children. And so they had 4 bedrooms, but they had given my brother the master bedroom. And they had taken the bedroom at the other end of the hallway near me and my sister. My other sister was in college. So we moved out of that house into a 3-bedroom house because my brother had graduated high school and turned 18. So he was expected to move on and do other things. And my other sister had already moved on and done other things. And she was in college in North Carolina at that time. So we moved to a new house. It was a model home in a neighboring subdivision, but we crossed over the district line. So we ended up in a different school district than we were in before. And this is all important. Okay. So, but still, we were at the same base. And we were used to moving, so that wasn't really a big deal. But then my mom is very, like I said, gifted. I don't think I said this part yet. But she's very gifted with a needle, y'all. She does a lot of things trying to, like she sewed all kinds of things. Tapestries, canvases. She made all my clothes from when I was born to age 8. And she made evening dresses and jumpers and dresses and all kinds of things. And I was always expected to look super nice. I was expected to have like my hair done every day and white glove treatment. I actually had to wear white gloves, y'all, and I wear white tights, and I had to have Mary Jane's polished and a long dress all the way down to my feet whenever we went out after 7 p.m., which was rare because my bedtime was like 8:30, but still. And before 7 p.m., I was expected to look perfect all the time. And I didn't mind it. I kind of enjoyed it. It was like I was a little doll or something. And I would dress myself, but she would always have final approval on what I wore. So we went to this thing. It was called a bazaar back then, Bazaar. And it was like a flea market, but it was all art done by the officers' wives, right? So it was all the officers' wives stuff. And I was there. And this woman that was a good friend of my mom's, not anyone that's exited today, came up to me and handed me this doll. And she said, "Your mom wanted you to have this. So here you go." And I was like, "Do I have to pay you?" Because I had some money. I had this little pearl purse. And I was like, "Do I have to pay you?" And she said, "No, your mom wanted you to have it. She's bought it herself for you." And I was like, "Well, that's interesting. So thank you." And I loved my doll, y'all. And years later, I found the fabric for it in her things. So she actually made this doll, which is interesting. But the doll had French knots for eyes and eyebrows and nose and things. And she had satin stitches for her mouth and different kind of embroidery on her hands. She had fingernails. She had all kinds of things. All little details that my mom put in there on each doll. And you'll see why in a second, right? But this is very interesting to me, and it always meant a lot to me, and I always treasured it. My friends all thought it was like the scariest doll they'd ever seen, but I loved it, y'all. And I used to sleep with it at night, and it stayed where I could see it in my room my whole life. It's probably still in my mom's house, and I'm probably not going to get any of my mom's effects, which is sad. But I do have good memories of them, and I'll be telling you little stories of them as we go, because some of them are very interesting. So here's one. Here's the doll. Okay, so this is the doll. And if you look at her, what you see when you see the actual doll is the black head is inside the red body. And the dress is reversible. So you pull the girl's dress over the white head and you see the black doll. And vice versa, you see the white head, right? Does that make sense? So the doll, let me make sure this is going to rotate on. So the doll either looks like this, or if you turn it upside down, it looks like that. But the other part you don't see, okay? And it was just so beautiful. Like, I loved this doll, y'all. And I would sleep with it. The doll is not small. It's like about 20 inches long. It's a big doll. And it's a big doll for like a 4-year-old to carry. And I was very into like the little princess books back then. So I would carry it around like that girl had her doll. And I had custom made Madame Alexander dolls and other dolls I'll tell you about later. And they were white. But this doll wasn't. Not all my Cabbage Patch dolls were white though, y'all. But still, so I had these dolls and this doll, and it was a treasure of mine. It's still in my house. And it's very, very neat. I used to ask my mom how much it would be worth. And if it was from the, because I was very dramatic. And I was like, is it from the Civil War and all these things? Because I'm actually nicknamed for Katie Scarlett from Scarlett O'Hara, which is funny. But I was like, is it from the Civil War? Is it worth a lot of money? And she's like, no, I don't think the artist would want to sell it and all these things. My mom's so funny. But anyway, so she made this dress. And y'all, it's hard for me to even look at the picture. But I drew the picture for y'all very quickly, amateurish, so you could see what it looks like. And she has the African American side has braids and is very like tied with ribbons and everything and very lovingly made. And always both sides are smiling really big with a big smile. And it's really sad, y'all, that she had to hide herself so much. But that she'd come to own herself. Sorry. Okay. So it's very sad that she had to hide herself and that she come to own herself so much in the Civil War. Here, I stand. In the Civil Rights movement. Because they lived in Washington, D.C. when I was born, and that was kind of around that time. And so she didn't know. Here's Norbert. So funny. She didn't really know that, there was going to be such a thing when they started moving. And it's kind of neat to see the journey. I wish she had had time to write a book or something, but she was really trying hard. You know, they kept her bald from birth until 4 years old because they didn't know how her hair was going to grow in. So it's very interesting. Anyway, there's lots of stories, y'all. So many, because she's so funny. And she couldn't hide her joy at being accepted by some people for who she really was, which I think is sweet. So then I go on and I talk about this. And I say, look at all these things. I still have to call storage, but every day I get busy doing my things, and then it's lunchtime. People go to lunch in Nacogdoches from 11:30 to 1:30, and honestly, I'm kind of scared, but I'm sure everything's fine. The people that work there are the nicest people, and I think one of them might be an FBI agent, but they're still the nicest people. So I don't really have much fear about it, but I am a little worried because these people here are so, well, see, and his family hate me so much. And I don't know why they hate me so much, but we're going to get into that in another video. So here, and I'm sure they don't hate me less now, unfortunately. So if you look here and you scroll down, you'll see that there's some more that are changed. There, see? So Isolated by My Stalkers. It doesn't have the Daisycakes and Snowman show on it anymore. And it doesn't have my name on it anymore. I just think that's so awful. It's like so meta, you know? They are trying to isolate me, y'all. And I just wanted to show you how weird it is that my stalker is she's also nonverbal and violent and angry. And she's more comfortable when you're nonverbal. I'm going to do a whole video on this because it's so interesting. It's like they're trying to give you, they have a disability when it comes to interacting with me, and they want to give it to you for some reason. I don't know why that's funny. Oh, that's my Chris Pine laugh. Okay, let me play this short for you. So, I just love him. He's a great actor, and he's somebody that I care about a whole lot. And he's very funny. And so I have this laugh that's a lot like his, and I always thought my laugh was so awful until I heard him laugh, and I was like, oh my gosh, he laughs just like me. So let me try to play this for you. I'm at my desk right now doing some work on my videos, and there's a guy in my window. This is my laugh. I'm not going to give attention to you. Yeah, don't give attention to me, y'all. Here, let's see. It's so funny. I didn't realize how much people weren't supposed to be giving me attention. It's kind of scary. And here's Norbert. He's so funny. He's like a 6 foot tall, bald or blonde guy. Get to my mama. Just wondered. Because I was like, he's like dead on to the guy. It's just so. But see, that's my laugh. I can't laugh like a normal person. So anyway, long story short, I thought I would just share this with you. It's a random daily vlog, but I hope it finds you well and you're enjoying your beginning of your year. And happy almost birthday to my mother-in-law, who is born on Epiphany and is going to be, she's over 70 now. So she's a ripe old age, but she is an artist and she does incredible work. And it always makes me sad that her body has changed and she can't do the same kind of work anymore. But you know, they're doing amazing things now with computer art, and I hope that she gets into that because she likes technology a whole lot, y'all. So funny. And she hasn't always been very nice to me, but I mean, she has some problems. She's a little nutty, but I love her anyway. So thank y'all so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. And I'm always trying to protect her and her family from getting blackmailed from these people, because there's no secret worth keeping that's like that. And I get a lot of backlash for the black thing too. But I mean, there's no secret that's worth keeping like that. It's just it'll come out eventually. Everything always does. So love y'all so much. Take care.